Agatha Christie's Towards Zero, streaming on BritBox starting on April 16th. Oliver Jackson-Cohen plays Neville, and Ella Lily Hyland plays Audrey, his ex-wife. Thank you both so much for your time today.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
This is a pretty scandalous, story for 1936, but you're this, tennis star, the celebrity couple, almost kind of similar to like the Beckhams if they were in 1936.
Yes, the element of celebrity is well and truly like part of the show. You know what I mean? The fascination around that and the sort of like
and all those dynamics of being watched and that's something that we definitely explored loads.
And Oliver, let's go ahead and start with you, because the story takes place, you're with your ex-wife and your current wife at the same time, and you're going to to a family member's estate. Tell us a little bit about that connection and that dynamic that we're going to see at the beginning of the show.
Well, it's kind of like you're kind of plunged into this very, very public divorce that's going on between Audrey and Neville, and everyone's talking about it. It's in all the papers, and it's all about this, whether or not he was unfaithful to his wife, and so it's quite the kind of celebrity scandal at the time, and it's so hard to kind of talk about without giving too much away, really. But yes, there's quite the kind of one of the like the biggest kind of central themes of the show is like this love triangle and the unfinished business, and like what are they actually all playing at here, and what games are they kind of secretly what are they kind of secretly doing behind. So it's quite an intricate very intense love triangle.
Yeah, it's Agatha Christie, so there's a lot playing, there's a lot of layers, there's going to be a lot of surprises. Ella, as far as Audrey, tell us a little bit about character, where we see her at the beginning, and then kind of her relationship with Kay.
With Kay. Yeah, she's such a great character. I think like she's grown up in this environment where the value is very much about like wealth and status and appearances and stuff, and she has this intertwined, like very dependent relationship with Neville. And I think with Kay, Audrey is kind of mutually afraid of her and really fascinated by her, which I think is something I found really interesting when I read it first. And yeah, like she has a lot of her emotions under the surface, so you never know like how she really feels, and whether she is affected by something. So I think a lot of her like exterior is like curiosity, like she kind of wants to know what makes Kay tick, and she's very interested in her, I think.
But it makes for like, I think the whole kind of setup of the show, it makes for quite compelling viewing, just to kind of see what's going to happen between whose genius idea is it to kind of go on honeymoon with their new wife and ex-wife. It's it creates a very interesting hellhole to be in.
And we also got to talk about Anjelica Huston, obviously, an iconic star at the head of all this, but also kind of commanding everything from her bed.
Yeah, she calls the shots 100%.
Absolute legend.
There's so much power in that room, isn't there? Yeah, she's incredible. I love Lady Tresillian's character as well, and they're all answering to this woman, and it's kind of amazing at the time, like in the 30s, to see such a matriarch kind of ruling the roost, and how much everything is in relation to her and what she wants, and whether they're kind of being rebellious to her wants or they're doing what she wants. You have such a great, I think her and Neville have such an interesting dynamic. He's like such a like a good like child, you know what I mean?
Well, it's as you say, I think it's to have her as well, to have like Anjelica Huston, who is, she's such a phenomenal accomplished actor and such a presence, and like, so I think for all of us to kind of be in that environment with her and sort of witness it firsthand is quite a powerful thing. As for all of us as actors, we were sort of, she came in for like a week, and then we were sort of like, it's scheduled to sort of go in and sort of like were brought to her bedside, and she was phenomenal, and also a wonderful like human being, and so we were very lucky to get to work with her.
Well, was there any kind of jokes or any kind of fun thing that happened? Because obviously, you're going into the water, you're playing at Wimbledon, and then she's in her bed. I mean, did she ever kind of make any kind of jokes about as far as that went during filming?
I think that was like her dream. I think it's like the dream job for any actor. Do you know what I mean? You get like dragged in.
Totally.
You get flown to the countryside in the UK in the summer.
Yeah.
You sit in bed. People bring you food, drink,
I know.
anything, laughter.
Yeah.
And she was great as well because she kind of sometimes would just go, when they were like turning like cameras or anything like that, like moving cameras around or lights, she would just go, I'm just going to sit here. And so we would all just sit on the bed and sort of chat away.
Yeah.
She was
and the weather got amazing when she came as well. Do you remember? We were all kind of basking in that, but yeah.
Yeah. And then as far as Agatha Christie goes, obviously, so many iconic books, so many iconic projects, books that have become into shows. I mean, is there kind of that moment that when you get to be a part of a project like this, you're like, oh my goodness, I finally get to be a part, or I get to be a part of the, this story here with Agatha Christie?
Yeah, 100%. Like it's like a dynasty, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's such a tradition, and like it's such a great honor. Like
I feel like as well in the UK, it's like not a rite of passage, but like if you're lucky enough to kind of get asked to do it, like they're so iconic for us in the UK, and we do them. They do them every year, and and there have been sort of offshoots and movies and all of that. And I just think it's they assemble these kind of incredible casts and these incredible kind of writers, and so directors. Sam, our director, was phenomenal, and so
and for a reason, like it's amazing that it's lasted so many generations.
Yeah, and that her stories kind of still resonate, in quite, and it's so interesting, when we look at the world that we're in now, and you were talking about celebrity and this sort of, that's what's being written about, and about sort of, dynamics and sort of the place of women in society at the time. There's something really quite groundbreaking that I still think translates to the like our world today.
Yeah, and I mean, almost 100 years later, Agatha Christie, obviously still an icon. Towards Zero, streaming on BritBox, starting on April 16th. Oliver and Ella, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Rudy. Nice to meet you.
Lovely
nice meeting you. Thank